Hello. Okay. Here we go. Oh my gosh. I am in a funk. F-U-N-K. Funk. Not sure what it is. It may have something to do with the oddball sleep last night. And I discussed this on the free podcast. I slept horribly. Is there anything worse? I had a dream. Buddy Bobcat Face, the late, never to be forgotten Buddy Bobcat Face, was in the dream. I remember 2 orange cats were in the dream. So that would mean, okay, that's Buddy and Fencer. The 2 cats the 2 orange tabbies that we had that have since gone off to the Rainbow Bridge. They're in the dream. And then also in the dream is a flower pot. I remember looking into a flower. This is a stupid dream. Looking into a flower pot, and there's a bunch of kittens in the flower pot. And I'm like, oh my God, I love these kittens. And I'm like, oh, can we keep them? And then I felt bad because I knew we couldn't keep them because we already have too many pets. So then I woke up. I have no idea what is going on. It's still better than having a dream about a hamster, which is coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. Based on the shit that fuckface Dean put me through and you guys insisting that I tell that stupid ass story again, you bastards. And so I didn't sleep. It was kind of like off and on. It was not good. So I feel horrible. I feel like shit. I keep yawning. I'm like, these huge, ugly, disturbing yawns keep flying out of my face. It's hideous. Okay. I'm officially going to start this mess.
The Motor City Man.
Fucking Doan. My God. All right. Motor City Man.
Yes, hello. Sean Gotti with you once again from Raleigh, North Carolina. And you know what? There's a million other things I'd rather be doing right now. But here I am, listening to the Eric Zane Show podcast. So without further ado, here he is, the one, the only, thank God, Eric Zane.
Okay, thank you. Right away, going to put Kyler in timeout because he's a fuckhead. There you go. Chew on that, you fat bastard. Because of this comment, it was probably that lispy, but he wrote Lipsy, I don't know, fake UFC podcast guy that you had on the... Yeah, shut the fuck up. You're not even a fucking American citizen. Go back to El Salvador, wherever the fuck you're from. Kate says, did you ever get my intro? I talked about that on the free podcast today. Absolutely did, but I just have not taken the time. I will. Trust me, I will. I will get that up on the show, Kate. No slight intended. Kenny is on double probation. He laughs at the idea that Kyler already in timeout. Hey, don't worry. It's only 300 seconds, Kyler. You fuck. Okay, so the way it's supposed to go is at 10:30 Eastern time. On Tuesday, you play Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia. So I'm all set, ready to go. I call my contestant, the multi-talented Mary Jo, and I go, hey, you ready? No, it goes right to voicemail. Dale's ready. I'm ready. You're ready. She's nowhere to be found. Half an hour later, I get a text. Oh, no, I overslept. We'll try it again tomorrow. So my apologies. But then, it's like, then I went ahead and I published the free podcast. It always takes a little bit of time. No big deal. But I kind of hammered that out. And Dirk writes, so you saved a half hour with no trivia and you lost 90 minutes anyway. So that means you've now earned a timeout. That is 2 timeouts It seems like it's always the dudes who are fuck faces. So Dirk, yeah, your snarkiness, you've earned that timeout for just 300 seconds. So suck on that. Yeah, I tried my damnedest, but it has been tough to come up with things to talk about today. I do have stories, but it did take a little bit of elbow grease to make this show happen, coupled with the fact that I just feel like an absolute pile of dog shit right now. And so I'm sitting here. I swear to God, I was like hysterically yawning, like I could have just fallen asleep just sitting here. And so I'm like, I gotta do something to get going here. So, being here, having you doing the show will no doubt wake me up. But just know that I've got a short fuse. So if any of you fucking idiots decide you want to get out of line, you're going to get a timeout, like Kyler, who is probably going to get another one the second he comes back in here. And then the same thing for Dirk. Pains in the asses. All right. Stevie says Eric is laying down the law. Better not step out of line. Thank you, Stevie. Better be careful there. If I detect any snark out of you, I will let you have it. Kenny says, want to feel better? You can laugh at me because I'm getting totally catfished and I kind of don't care. Oh, I hate that. I despise that. That is the thing about catfishing is, it's like, for what good reason? Why would anybody even do that? I just realized in my haste to get this show on, I made this public and I did not want to do that. So that's unfortunate. So I guess this is a freebie for you folks. All right. So you cheap bastards, you can enjoy this thing free today. The Eric Zane Show Patreon bonus podcast. We'll leave it right there. If you like it, you can sign up patreon.com/Eric Zane. All right. It can't be as bad as Ben's catfish from the BBL days. Oh man, that was rough. That was rough. I want to get into this story, though, about Stephen A. Smith. And I had no idea that this even was going on until Joey Williamson tipped me off. But, man, this is kind of ugly, man. So one of the coolest stories is this baseball player for the Los Angeles Angels, Shohei Ohtani. And what's cool about Shohei Ohtani, how often have you, most people know that the pitchers pitch and the pitchers don't hit. And in the National League, the pitchers hit, but they always bat last because they suck. Well, Shohei Ohtani from Japan is a real rarity. He's a pitcher who can hit. He's absolutely a dual player. So he's an everyday player when he's not pitching. Okay. And so they make him the designated hitter quite often, and he's also an outfielder, and he can also throw the ball over 100 miles an hour. So this is extremely rare. He has 33 home runs at the All-Star break. He's a really big dude. He's 6'4" and just can mash. And if you've seen some of the amazing home runs this guy has hit, when he turns on a ball, he's got this crazy. Whenever any a big home run hitter just mashes one, it's one of the best things in the world. So I love the idea of Shohei Ohtani playing baseball, and it's once it's so rare. I mean, the last time you had a player that was really formidable at both pitching and batting was Babe Ruth, like more than 100 years ago. So that's awesome. Ohtani was in the home run derby yesterday. He didn't win it, but everybody's just going crazy about this guy. And I've been following because I didn't know shit about Shohei Ohtani. And then I kept hearing his name mentioned in stories. I go, what's the story with it? Oh, holy fuck, man. I didn't know that this guy is that significant. And he's only been in the majors here for about 3-4 years or so. And he started in the Japanese league when he was 18 years old in the year 2013. So late 20s. And great story. Why the fuck Stephen A. Smith from ESPN's First Take would do this, I'm not sure. Because, he is constantly talking about race and things like that, and he's a black dude. So for him to take the stance that I'm about to share with you is really staggering to me. Okay. In a rant on First Take, the show that he's on with, I think, Max Kellerman. And there's also a lady that he's on the show with, CJ Fogler. No, I don't know who the fuck it is. CJ Fogler tweeted it out. That's where I saw it. But anyway, so it's Kellerman and some lady. I don't know who the hell she is. In this rant, the Japanese-born LA Angels superstar who is the first legitimate two-way player since Babe Ruth. He says he can't be the face of baseball because he doesn't speak English well and because he needs an interpreter. But when you talk about an audience gravitating to the TV or to the ballpark to actually watch you, I don't think it helps that the number one face is a guy who needs an interpreter so you can understand what the hell he's saying. This article, according to Yahoo Sports, says before you point out that some of baseball's brightest and most talented stars, Fernando Tatis Jr., Ronald Acuna Jr., Vlad Guerrero Jr., don't speak English as their first language, Smith had more to say or to yell on this topic. And that's where we pick it up.
He can learn English.
Yeah.
Well, but the point is this, Max. If this was Bryce Harper, what would we be doing?
A white guy.
We might be talking about baseball 5 days a week.
Okay, so this asshole is saying if it's a white guy who's doing this much, all this amazing stuff, we'd be talking about baseball all the damn time. Yeah, I am not that tightly wound that I don't ever, he's taking a great story about Ohtani being an awesome two-way player, and he's throwing race into it, and then throwing all these hypotheticals about race that really, why even bother make the argument? And, in a show like his where it's always point counterpoint, this is what this asshole is paid to do, stir the pot. And in my opinion, this is part of the problem with the culture today. Too many racist assholes like Stephen A. Smith making everything about race and making it a racist discussion, in my opinion. So here's the problem with this. He's saying all this shit about the Asian-born player. That's where it's going to get him in trouble, and it is right now.
If this was Bryce Harper, what would we be doing? We might be talking about baseball 5 days a week.
That's true.
Yeah, Max, don't say that's true.
That's what I'm saying.
Although
I don't know.
to be fair, we've now talked about Ohtani this season a handful of times,
Twice.
which is more shine
Twice.
than baseball would otherwise be getting.
Twice. Yep. We've talked about him
Those
twice.
home runs are doing plenty of talking for me. It is very difficult to learn
Really,
second
Molly? You
language.
sure?
I'm sure he's
You
trying.
sure?
That he's trying
sure?
to learn English? Yeah, I think I'm sure
No.
he
I'm
is.
saying, you sure that's enough for you, Molly? How many Angels games have you watched, Molly?
Actually, I've watched a lot
haven't.
because my best friend is
He doesn't let anybody finish. He asks her a question, she gets one word out, and then he screams at her, "You fucking dick."
because my best friend is married to a former pitcher. So CJ Wilson. So I actually went to a bunch
Jason says Stephen A. Smith barely speaks English himself.
of Angels games. Yeah, so if we're gonna leave it there, sorry.
I
didn't know that
haven't,
little
but when
fun
Barry
fact about
Bonds
me.
was smacking home runs or Mark McGwire was it, I was transfixed on the two.
He can learn English.
That,
All right. So there's that. So that story kind of develops, and then the various people weighed in right away. The world wasted no time, according to the Yahoo Sports article, flooding Twitter with angry responses to Smith. By the way, I should point out that Patriot Nick says, without race baiting, Stephen A. Smith would not have a job, period. Tyler says, praying this D-bag gets canceled. Cannot stand Stephen A. Yeah, that's not going to happen. This person wrote, telling anyone, let alone a generational, once-in-a-lifetime baseball talent who's currently doing something completely unprecedented to just, quote, learn English, completely underestimates and devalues the difficulty of immigrating to the United States. He also then said that learning English is easy. And there's no way he could ever say that because he didn't learn English as a second language. That's not there. There's no way you could determine that. You would, and then a lot of people who have done this weighed in with, no, it's actually quite difficult. This person wrote, A lot of people with blue check marks weigh in. They say, seems telling of something that on First Take today, Stephen A. Smith both said that Shohei Ohtani cannot be the face of baseball because he uses a translator, and also butchered the names of Nigerian basketball players. Boy, this guy had a terrible take, and it's hard to read. The xenophobic stance by Stephen A. Smith isn't just an off-the-cuff hot take. This isn't barbershop talk. This is a produced segment. This take is accompanied by graphics. This take is a segment that was previously discussed in morning meetings. Wow. Stephen A. Smith. It's a bad thing Ohtani is the face of baseball because he has an interpreter. In fact, he could be harming the game. Oh. Smith's unhinged rant about Ohtani is unsupported by facts and plainly xenophobic. And if you're familiar with Smith at all, it probably won't surprise you that he was essentially on the other side of the argument on July 6th, less than a week ago. He loudly complained that MLB has a damn modern-day Babe Ruth on their hands, and what are they doing about it? What a fucking asshole. He spent 2 minutes praising Ohtani and railing against baseball for failing to market him. Yet on Monday, he said that Ohtani can't be the face of the game because he doesn't speak English. What an asshole. He should be fired because he's inept. Implying that it's Ohtani's own fault and that baseball couldn't market him if it tried. Many players know English well enough to understand it, but don't feel confident speaking it to reporters. For some players, doing their first interview exclusively in English is an important milestone. Not even then, they typically continue to use an interpreter because their native language is still most comfortable. Hockey players do this shit all the time. Another famous and beloved Japanese player, Ichiro Suzuki, used an interpreter throughout his time in the majors despite knowing how to speak English. That didn't stop him from being a total superstar. Okay, so this all unfolds, and now, then Stephen A., he issued a follow-up. He tweeted a response Monday afternoon because at this point, his bosses are letting him have it. The day wasn't good for him, in which he completely failed to understand what people were angry about. Smith tweeted a response on Monday afternoon doing that. He failed to understand what people were angry about, actually doubling down on his previous xenophobic opinion. Quote, I'm talking about the marketability, the promotion of the sport. 28% of the players in baseball are foreign players. A lot of them need translators. If you are, it says AB Sport, I guess about sport, trying to ingratiate yourself with the American public the way Major League Baseball is because of the problems you've been having. So he's doubling down on that. All right. Later on Monday, he flips and says, oh my God, I am so sorry. Long-winded post about, oh my God, this is terrible. I made a mistake. And then today he goes on TV and it did not, you see, this is what happens. So then it's so shallow and shitty. All of this. It was dumb to come up with in the first place. It's not, it didn't even, I mean, the initial thing was so dumb, and then he doubled down on it. The fact that, I know who Shohei Ohtani is. I love the fact this guy's story has sold me. Okay. The fact of what he can do, his skill set, that's the story. You don't need to say anything else about it. And I haven't watched a fucking baseball game in years, and I know who Shohei Ohtani is. I know that he's one of the youngest people. First, he threw a ball 102.5 miles an hour. He throws it super fucking hard. He's a great player. The fact that it's been more than 100 years since somebody's been able to do this is all you really need to know about him. Today, this piece of shit says this.
I don't need press releases.
It's long. I don't know if I can play. I don't know if I can stand the whole thing. and it's all bullshit. The only reason why this guy says this is because his boss has said, you either fucking fix this or you're fired.
Statements from the company. I don't need all of this other
He
stuff.
didn't turn around and say, I've thought about this good and hard, and I was wrong. He's just doing this because his fucking boss said, you got to go say sorry.
Let me be the first to stand up and say that I want to express my sincere apologies to the Asian community and the Asian American community.
What a filthy fucking racist this son of a bitch is. You can't represent any minority group ever again. You can't say shit because you just indicted every Asian American or Asian person on the planet with you can't be good for baseball because you don't speak English. That's something fucking Trump would say, you fucking idiot.
I am a black man. I religiously go off about minorities being marginalized in this nation. I instantly go off, repeatedly bring up the fact that if you are a member of a community that feels disenfranchised in any way,
listen to him.
That's something that we need to battle.
He's all serious and pensive when he says it. He's not yelling anymore. Holy shit.
We need to fend off to the best of our ability as a nation. These are the kind of things that I bring up. And the reason why I bring up my blackness is because of this. On many occasions, what I have said, when people have said something,
because you're a race-baiting asshole,
that is offensive in any way to the minority community, it's not about how you feel. It's about how they feel.
Tyler, I am a black man. I have immunity from criticizing someone of a different race.
And the reality of the situation is that you have Asians and Asian Americans out there that obviously
Asians and Asians Americans
were very, very offended by what I had to say yesterday.
Well, everybody was offended. I was offended, and I'm a fucking white guy.
And I just want to look into the camera and extend my sincere apologies. That was not my intent at all, but I'm not going to get into all of that because I do understand that a lot of racists out there are quick to say that was not my intent. That's not.
Oh, no, you see, it's got a lot of racists are out there. You're the racist. This guy is an absolute racist.
Where I'm going here. I was wrong, period. There's no excuse. This is not ESPN. This is not Disney. For a lot of people out there going off about Disney and ESPN.
Yeah,
no, this was me.
Yeah.
Wasn't Max. Wasn't Molly.
They're kicking your ass.
Wasn't the producers on First Take. Wasn't the bosses. It was me. I said it. And the reality is that I was completely clueless as to the kind of impact that this would have on the Asian and the Asian American community. That was not my intent at all. And so I just want to say we're going to talk about a lot of things. Jeff Passan is going to be on the show today. June Lee is going to be on the show. I think Eduardo Perez is going to
get all these people in there that are going to fucking let him have it. This is like the payback.
Be on the show along with a host of others. And I welcome this conversation.
Okay, he should be fired. If this were you, if this was me, if I was working at a radio station and I made that comment, I'd be fired immediately.
I don't have
because I'm a white guy. The only reason why he's not getting fired, let's just be honest here, is because he's a black guy. Just like Tyler said. I agree with him.
Problem with it, but I just want people to know, here's where I stand. The second that I was informed about how hurt a group of people in this nation was off of what I said, that's all that matters to me.
This is ridiculous.
All that matters to me, because I don't intend to hurt people like that. That's not who I am. That's not who I've ever been. If I have a problem with you, you know it. If I mean to offend you, you know it. I don't hide.
This guy is so full of shit.
From it, I'll let you know I'm coming. That wasn't the case yesterday. But nevertheless, it doesn't negate the fact that they were detrimentally affected by my words. I have friends from the Asian American community that expressed their disappointment in what I had to say because of all the things that they have had to deal with. The anti-Asian stuff going on, the Asian hate that's been percolating in this nation over the last few years. And we all know to some degree why that is.
Just say Trump. Just say it. Why are you dodging it? Just say you blame Trump. So he's blaming racists and Trump here.
I contributed to that yesterday. And that's inexcusable. So that's on me. And I wanted to apologize to the Asian community, the Asian American community, and the Walt Disney and the ESPN, because I'm not about bringing this kind of attention to the company.
Yes. Okay. All right. Oh, God. horrible. Chris said, quote, some of my best friends are Asian. I have Asian friends. Patriot Nick says, isn't this the same argument some white people make when they say, I have black friends? Yeah. Yep. This is exactly the same. The only difference is nothing's going to happen to this guy. Oh, what a dick. What a fucking asshole. Let me say right now, if I make a gay joke, if I make a joke and I say something stupid about gay people and a bunch of people get pissed off at me, I'm not going to say, yeah, well, I've got gay friends. I'm going to say, yeah, well, it was a fucking joke, so go fuck yourself. You don't like it, don't listen. Fuck you. That's the only thing you can say. You can't it's worse. You make it worse when you try to say, oh, I was wrong. I'm so sorry. All those, remember, I've said this before, all those times that I've ever said sorry, I take it back. I was sorry that I attacked DMX after he died. I felt bad about that, but I didn't try to position it the same way this piece of shit does. I just said, yeah, that was too much, But any other time that I ever pissed somebody off in radio and then went on there and said, oh, yeah, hey, man, I'm sorry. I wasn't sorry. I was in trouble. I got in trouble. I didn't get in trouble for DMX. I just felt bad about it. And everybody let me know. I was like, I probably shouldn't have said that. So, anytime you hear about these fucking stupid, unhealthy apologies, he got his fucking tit in a ring. My God. Jesus. Kyler says, just don't make a skank joke. Yeah, I see your back. Okay. I will quickly give you a timeout. Did Dirk ever come back? I think he should be back by now. There he is. An article about attacks on Asians in this country. It's all about blacks attacking them. I haven't seen any articles about whites attacking Asians. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Yeah, that maybe that's true. Maybe that is true. So there you go. Stephen A. Smith is like, I'm just doing like the black guys that beat up the Asians on the street. That's me now. Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh shit. Rob says, did you threaten yourself with sensitivity training that you'd have to pay for yourself? No, I didn't. That was something, though, back in the day. Yeah, Eric, for the AIDS cracks, you're going to need to go to sensitivity school. Okay. Did I? No, of course not. All right. Thanks to Jimmy in Portland, Maine. He reached out with this one. It's kind of on the wokeness spectrum. Entomologists, which are people who study insects, are working feverishly to try to right a wrong, guys. To try to turn something around so that an injustice can be corrected. There is a larger Romani community in New Hampshire. And some people in the community are being appeased and helped because something destructive has been affecting them. Scientists there have decided that because of its name, they need to change what we describe as a gypsy moth and a gypsy ant. In 2020, a complaint was made to the Entomological Society of America. They initiated efforts to stop the use of the term gypsy when it comes to these creatures, this particular moth and this particular ant. Who knew that you could appeal to a group of people who must then decide on the name? Last month, maybe that's what happened to Brazil nuts years ago. Maybe there's a board of people on like the Nut Society who decided to change. Perhaps that's what happened. You don't hear about that anymore. Some of you get that joke. Keep it to yourselves. I don't want to get canceled. Last month, the Society's governing board voted to remove gypsy moth and gypsy ant from a list of common names used to refer to insects. They plan to consult a volunteer group to rename the moth and the ant, which will go by their respective Latin names, Lamantria dispar and Naphangoda, until new common names are chosen. The ESA is the largest entomological society in the world and publishes 8 internationally acclaimed academic journals. We want everybody to feel welcome in the entomological community. And so if we're using nomenclature that makes people feel excluded or marginalized or contributes to that in any way, there's no reason to get... what the fuck is going on here? One of the people involved is the chairperson of Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies at Rutgers University, a Romani scholar, said the move is groundbreaking. This is a step toward us being able to push back and say, hey, there are actually 12 million or more of us in the world. We have a history. We are people. We're human. Well, who gives a fuck? Who knew that gypsy was a bad term? Isn't there a boxer? Isn't Tyson Fury known as like the Gypsy King? Yeah, he's the fucking Gypsy King. And that's what he's known as. Why don't you go bang on his door? Try to tell Tyson Fury, a heavyweight professional boxer, he can no longer use the term the Gypsy King. They're making a big deal about a fucking moth and an ant, saying that that's derogatory and offensive. Holy shit. Words have power, and more so, racial slurs like the G word. Bullshit. I am not going to say the G word, okay? You got me on R word. You got me on N word. Fuck you. G word is not going to be used. We are going to say gypsy from this day forward. And I'm not going to say the M word too. It's always a midget to me. So go fuck yourself. The G word have been particularly offensive and dangerous for Romani people. Nope. Sorry. We've been constantly dehumanized through the... Call up Borat. Changing the name of this insect is very relevant in rectifying the mainstream narratives about Romani people. Our people, history, and culture. Fuck you, you fucking gypsy. This is bullshit. We are not going to change. We're not going to end gypsy. Let's just say it. I want everybody to use the word gypsy at some point today, no matter what. Fleetwood Mac can't sing the song. Change it to G word, Dirk says. No. Gypsy is forever going to be used. I want you to call somebody. I want you to call up. Look up somebody who try to find a Romani person today and call them a gypsy right to their fucking face to make this a possibility so that we can make it so that this continues for the rest of our lifetimes. Say yes to the word gypsy. All right. I'm just going to get out. And no, I'm not apologizing for that sometime tomorrow. Okay. That's it. Chris says we're getting gypped here. Maybe. All right, folks. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. We'll talk to you a little later on. The Eric Zane Show podcast Patreon bonus is done. Since I did make this a freebie, consider signing up on Patreon. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. $5 or $10 a month. Till next time, have a good one, folks. Bye-bye.